meet our conversations this morning head-on, so we have enough time to analyze them. Tensions surfaced in the National Assembly as lawmaker representing Kogi Central, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, raised concerns over what she described as a persistent curtailment of her legislative prerogatives in the 10th Senate. The controversy unfolded after her name was allegedly omitted from the attendance register of the Senate Committee on the North Central Development Commission, NCDC. Arriving prepared to participate in the committee's budget defense, Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan discovered that she had been excluded from the official lists. Seeking clarification, she confronted the committee clerk and later the chairman, Senator Titus Zam. The exchange quickly escalated, with Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan insisting that she would not be treated as a second-class citizen in the Senate. Let's take a look.
I will not watch any of you. I will not watch any senator here undermine my people. I will not have that. I will not have that. No senator here is worth more than my people. I will not tolerate that. 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 There's no problem. No. Please, you guys should call the security of this place. Come, let's call everybody. I need this to be resolved today. No. Give us which time. Let them give me the phone. It will never happen that I will not be undermined. So you guys, no. There's no problem. Whatever it will take, I think will not be treated like second class.
I do not collect your phone. I know it's a dismissed senator of the federal.
No, there's no problem.
But wait, I am not in that office. So it's not like you think that I've collected your TC. Am I in that office?
I have your mate for my house.
There is no problem. That's where we're going to start. However it escalates, I'm ready. However it escalates, I'm ready.
Wait now.
So that's the video you saw, the clash between Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan and the Senate Committee on, reviewing the NCDC. Now, while that is a big issue, again, this just feels like it's a refresh, a repeat, it's a recurring incident. It's no longer looking like an oversight of some sort, because why does it have to always be Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan who's in the spotlight for the wrong reasons? Not because of her own failures, but again, because of some would argue that it's starting to look targeted. Being a part of, in Nigeria's legislative system, if you're looking at committees are being a part of committees and doing your oversight functions are a very important part of your responsibility. Now, you also look at the NCDC, how many states fall under the NCDC? Kogi State is under the NCDC. So ensuring that her name is not reflected there speaks to, silencing the voice of Kogi citizens.
It looks deliberate.
It looks deliberate. I don't want to assume
and I believe this
that it is deliberate.
It's a follow-up from what happened in the meeting, the budget defense meeting.
I honestly want to
because it looks like victimization at this point.
Yeah, I want to isolate it. I don't know that there has been any response as to what exactly happened, but it is. I don't think that it is proper that her name was omitted.
Is she making a mountain out of a molehill?
Just to clarify things, it's a meeting that has to do with northern states. And
Yeah, Kogi is
central.
not central development
Yes.
commission.
North Central
Yeah.
State, of course, and it borders on Northern State as well. Each state, each constituency, let me use the word constituency, will provide at least two. Each state will provide two senators. So for Kogi, 2 were already presented. There were 3, yes. There was the Kogi East and the Kogi West. There was no need for the central.
I don't
for
agree
the
with
North
that.
Central.
It's
Yes,
the
so
state,
let me
it's
explain.
not constituencies. So
No,
it's
it's
6
not.
states and the FCT under the so there's
No.
Benue, Niger.
Hold on, there are
okay, go ahead.
19.
Okay.
19 are supposed to be there for this entire meeting.
But 19 is 19 northern states.
It's
this
not
is
central.
not central.
This is not central. Is supposed to be like the 6 of them and the FCT.
Where
I
is she
believe.
from?
She's from Kogi.
Yes,
So
2 senators already from Kogi are part of it. 2 per state. 2 per state. So you already have 2 senators, Senator Jibrin and what's the other senator? Samuel also. They were already there. They were selected for Kogi. Plateau had 1. Nasarawa had 2. Other states had 2. Total makes 19. Okay? So she wasn't in quotes from the explanation. She wasn't needed.
Who's
Or
explanation?
she was not supposed
Exactly.
to be there.
That is important to ask. Who gave the explanation?
So looking at the entire list, that is how it was done. That is the plan. That is how it was scheduled. Okay? 2 senators will represent a state so that there will be a balance. Let me also highlight it very quickly. I think I put it down and look at it. Okay, so clearly per state, North Central, Benue had 2, Kogi 2, all right, Kwara 2, Niger State 2, Plateau 1, Nasarawa 1, FCT 1. Other states had 1 each from Bauchi, Borno, Imo, Jigawa, Akwa Ibom. They all had 1. Remember, it's the NSCDC, so let's also take note of that. However, the point here is that based on reports, she confronted Senator Zam due to her exclusion from North Central. And that's why she blocked the entrance. She sat at the chair, she said nobody's going and nobody's passing. That her people are being marginalized. They're not being carried along.
And I agree with her.
However, they tried making it clear to her that, but it's 2-2 and you already have 2 people from your state. And the 2 people that came from her state were, okay, here they are. Their names are Vice Chairman Kogi East and also Kogi West.
So what
and
happens to
Issa
Kogi
Jibrin,
Central?
and also you have Steve Karimi already from Kogi. What I'm trying to look at it from a different view. You may not have to be invited, because other states too, the other senators can also fight and say, why would you invite only 2 people from my state? You have to invite everybody. The commission cannot invite, during the city, you can't invite everybody. So you just pick 2. In short, some states even had 1. Just 1 senator represent. The FCT had 1. Okay? Plateau had 1. So I think that's the information we're trying to pass to her. But in her statement, which she put on Facebook, I don't know if we have that statement, you could put it on the screen. She made it clear that her name was not on the register. She was not informed. She only found out about it 20 minutes towards the end of the meeting. Before she could rush down to the meeting, they had finished and everybody had left. When she got hold of the list, she registered. She saw that her name wasn't there. Why wasn't her name there? People are being marginalized and so on. And this explanation was made clear that, listen, it's 2 persons per state. If the entire sitting decide to increase it in numbers, or they decide to drop one of the other senators, then your name will be added. But since your name is not added, then it is what it is.
So again, I will go back to saying, if every state, for example, in this state, Kogi State has 3 senatorial zones. There's the Kogi North, there's the Kogi East.
You have Kogi East, Kogi West.
And Kogi Central. If you have a representative from the other 2, not having a representative from the 3rd is marginalizing them. It is marginalization on all fronts, and it might not have been. Again, I don't know where the explanation of, where that explanation came from, but if that is their official position, right? Then they need to review how they set up their commission and how they set up their committees
So
and how
that
they
it's all
review
inclusive,
their meetings so that it's all inclusive. Especially because with the case of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, there have been issues in the past few months.
Not
and
once, though,
I
twice,
would think that as a senator that wants to ensure inclusivity, you'll be a little more sensitive to the quote-unquote plight of Kogi Central people, particularly because of how their senator, their representative has been treated since
And they had
March of
already missed
2025.
out 6 months.
They've missed out, exactly. They've missed out 6 months of representation at the Senate. So I will think that it won't cost you anything. You need 3 people per state. Okay, there are 3 senatorial zones. Are you going to, does it require you to rent an event center to get 1 extra person in?
And I'm sure the states that have 1 representative is due to absenteeism.
Yeah, I don't think it's like, oh, this state
It's
can
not
only
the entire
provide
109
one.
senators. It's just senators.
So there are 2 sides to this. One is the explanation from the commission, from the committee rather, set up to look into the commission, which is they've said, okay, they already invited 2 persons per state. However, the other hand, this is where the key argument comes in. Must it be 2? Must it be 2? Because that's what Nigerians want to know. And the answer, no. It must not be 2. It can be 3. It can be, name the numbers. However, the point is, for the fact that they did not invite her, I also feel that by today, maybe hopefully, Senator Zem will be able to put out a statement and make it clear, or spokesperson of the Senate, to make it clear that, listen, the reason why this and this was done was because of this. Now, this is where, I mean, we've looked at it. I wanted us to look at it holistically.
Just to add to that before you move away.
Yeah.
Again, I would say, just to add to that, if you're saying the representatives from the state, you should ask yourself how many senatorial zones are there. If there are 3 senatorial zones, you have 3 representatives, because you want to give them the right to first refusal. Give them the opportunity. Let it be that their representative did not show up. Let it be that their representative did not want to have a seat at the table. So, if I were there, I will not take that line down, because you're stripping me of my right of representation.
So, with that statement you've made, that is the key, that is the crux of this matter. Having looked at it holistically, the committee set up 2 persons per state. Some came with 1. States have been mentioned. However, she felt, listen, you should have at least informed me. I am part and parcel of the Senate. And that's where the argument comes from.
And I'm a senator representing Kogi State.
Do you get?
Kogi State belongs
So I
to the
agree,
North Central.
I agree with our argument is valid. But in terms of, you know, the pushbacks leading to, you know, the altercation that we see, marginalization is starting to become very highlighted, especially when it comes to Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. And I think just a few days ago, she was about to speak at a meeting with some of the ministers, and while she was about to talk, the gauntlet was hit, and they said no, she can't speak. You know, so you start to wonder, okay, fine. So when we look at all this picture, yes, we'll start to say, well, in as much as you may have your own say that, oh, there were 2 persons, so on and so forth, why didn't you, just knowing who she is?
No, I would say
not who she is.
I'm coming.
Principles of fairness and
I'm going somewhere. I'm going
Okay.
somewhere, guys. I'm going somewhere.
Yeah, go
and
somewhere.
we must say the way it is.
Okay, say it.
Knowing who she is, that she will not stand for anything lesser than what it should be.
Okay.
Meaning that she will stand for, listen, it has to be done right. Then I think those who are in the Senate, who are in course, let's use them as her colleagues, whether they are senior colleagues or, you know, younger ones, whichever way, you should now look at it. Whenever it comes to her, you should be able to say, oh, wait, I mean, we mentioned something not quite long ago. The wife of the current president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, while the wife was in the assembly, would they try this? They can't. They couldn't.
She had her own
They
fair
couldn't.
altercations.
Yes, she did.
senators.
But they couldn't, because she was one who was known to be very determined, strong.
And
Right,
vocal.
Senator Itagi was. But we had people who, when they stand and talk, you give them their respect. But why is it that when it comes to her, the story is going back and forth? It's now painting a picture of, oh, this person is wicked. But I'm just saying,
But
we've
I'm
looked at
looking
it
forward
generally.
to seeing what,
The explanation
not
would
what
be.
Portuguese are saying or Togolese, but what Nigerians are saying.
Oh, wow. I thought you would say the, Uganda people, or the Swahili people.
Ugandans.
I mean, they are our brothers. All of them are our brothers. Whatever.
Kalwaja says, dear Natasha Akpoti, these men will not respect you until you put all of them, you put them on full blast. Even a Netflix limited series where they follow you around and document how hard it is for a female to do a job as a senator will help. When you tag misogynistic senators, they will find it hard to get a visa after they leave office. To all those women staying silent, tomorrow when they do the same thing to you, they will tell you, we did it to Natasha and nothing happened. Pin this comment. Thank you, Kalu Aja. One chill bottle of whatever it is you drink.
Yeah, I
give it
agree
small
with
malt.
Kalu's submission, but the part that I don't like is, please, let's stop this, over looking at the West as principal or headmaster.
No.
I'll report you to the West. They will deprive you of visa.
You know why, Gbenga, you know
how
why
many of them? Okay,
Gbenga, you know why we have to look at that?
Angry with you.
Why we have to look at
It's
that?
not the West that shouted. Everybody started running to quell the insecurity.
Why we have to look at that?
Why were they not doing it since?
No.
You want us to say, oh, we're a sovereign nation, we don't need the
No,
West.
not that. Like,
that's not our
please look
reality.
inwards and deal with issues. For
But you people,
No, that's our reality. That's our
report
reality.
to the West.
That's our reality, because
The West is the West better.
Should I explain?
You had a whole political class
explain Gbenga?
of men. The president of the United States
reporting to the West is not
38,000 raping minors, children. I mean, how low can you get? And it's the same West you want to report to.
I
You and
agree
I, it's the
that-
same West. Let them deal with their things. No, I can never
just
agree
explain
with
to
this.
Gbenga.
What is wrong is
you
wrong,
and
but you don't
I
need to
know
report
that
to
the
the West.
reporting to the West is not based on who they are, what they do. It's based on the fact that it has been proven that your leaders, the leaders, take what belongs to the country and resources of people and pilfer it and take it there to the West.
So it's still
if
the
you
problem of the
stop
West
them-
for
no,
warehousing
hold on.
stolen dubious funds.
Okay, so I think I've heard both your sides of the divide, and I understand both of you. I completely understand you.
If I steal something and I keep it with you, do you think the law enforcement will not arrest you too?
It's why we always
you
hear
need
of
to
the sweet
understand.
funds and all. I understand
Yeah,
both of you completely.
so-
And I think the summary to it is both of you are right. Two truths can coexist. We need to get to the point where...
I am righter. He's right.
No, I don't agree
We
with
need to
that.
get to the point where we can deal with our internal issues without resourcing to the West. However, we must also examine our current realities, which is the fact that our political class are obsessed with going abroad, sending their kids abroad. So that's our reality. Let's get back to what Nigerians are saying on X, and then we'll move to our next story. And then other ways to submit your grievances. Must everything be fight and noise without solutions? Who is this person talking to is my question. That's the main issue, Prince JC.
All of them. All of the above.
All right, the next tweet, let's take two more so that we can quickly move to our next story. The next election, it's going to be Senator Natasha versus all the senators and APC members. And our final tweet this morning on this story, can we take the final tweet? All right, it doesn't seem like we... APC is running a system of deliberate chaos. They feed, fuel, and benefit from the chaotic system. All right, that's all we can take. Let's quickly move over to our next story. Yesterday, protesters returned to the gates of the National Assembly to resume the Occupy NASS demonstration, demanding the mandatory electronic transmission of election results. The demonstrators are insisting that the real-time clause be explicitly included in the Electoral Act Amendment Bill to ensure transparency in future polls. They maintain that the current version passed by the Senate leaves too much room for manual interference. The atmosphere at the National Assembly complex remains charged as civil society groups and concerned citizens vow to remain until their demands are met. Let's take a look at the videos from the protest grounds.
Until our votes begin to count, our lives cannot count. If the lives of citizens count, they cannot kidnap and kill more than 100 people in Kwara. And the governor is in Abuja trying to deliver the APC candidate for AMAC election. The president is attending a fishing festival in Kebbi State. Meanwhile, that same Kebbi State, the president is here to tell Nigerians and the governor who ordered troops to leave government girls secondary school in Kebbi before more than 100 students were abducted from the school. The commander-in-chief is here to tell Nigerians, my brother, there is no country where the vote of the people counts, where leaders will act as irresponsibly and as reckless as Nigerian leaders. So we are insisting that for 2027, we do not want shenanigans. Nobody should be afraid of free and fair election. This current government, they have every institution at their beck and call. They have more than 30 governors. They have the entire National Assembly, judiciary, police, DSS, civil defense, city girls, city guys, city everything, city thugs, everything they have. Why should anybody be afraid of free and fair election? That is why we have come to say their time is up. It is time up for electoral malpractice. Anybody who says there is no technology for the electronic technology or transmission is lying and is being criminal-minded. They want to steal the mandate of the people and it will not work. Yes. So we are telling Akpabio and everybody who cares to listen, you must do the right thing. 2027, we are not fighting, no, but we will resist anybody who wants to take away the mandate of the people. Yes. So as we blow this whistle, their time is up. Our vote must count. Our vote must count. Our vote must count. Our vote must count. My name is Peter for Nigeria.
Yeah. Peace and love.
Right to democracy is. We're in Democracy Avenue, speaking the minds of the people, and we say we stand with the House of Representatives on real-time electronic transmission of the results. Mandatory. Without any condition, no clause. We have done it in the past and we got up to 94% without it being mandatory. So if we make it mandatory, we have the resources already. 200+ billion for technology in this next election, 1-point-something trillion for this year's budget for INEC. So we have the resources. No matter the hurdle we think we have, we would be able to surmount it and get our result to count. That is our ask today, and thousands of Nigeria. We represent millions of Nigeria across the country.
All right, so it was a busy ground and it continues up until today. Don't forget, they will be meeting today. The Senate will be meeting today and they'll be discussing the way forward concerning the electoral reform. So let's see what Nigerians are saying very quickly before we drop our 2 cents or 50 cents. Nigerians are saying that Pio's main chick, is that Peter? I don't know. Pio's, okay. Only losers fear, can we go back? The only losers fear what? I didn't pay it. Only losers fear free and fair elections. Okay. Hashtag Occupy NASS 2026. Let's see another tweet very quickly. Queen B says, hi, calling on Peter for Nigeria. You may not realize the good you are doing for your country. Nigerians are taking note, and history will be kind to you and will never forget the role you played in ensuring that transparency is brought into the Nigerian electoral system. That's what Queen B says to you. Someone types Donald Trump. Dear Mr. Trump, we commend and appreciate all your efforts to stabilize the security situation in Nigeria. However, you don't really have to spend your compatriots' tax money to keep bombing or sending troops to Nigeria. Just help us get a credible election. Uto, that's what the person is saying. Don't waste your money. We know where to go. Zolex says, even if you're an enemy of Nigeria, let the votes count, no more rigging. Okay, he says, let the votes count, no more rigging. That's what he says. New Emmanuel says, our votes must count 2027. And we've seen a lot of persons speak up on social media and having their, maybe we'll say their foot on the ground this time, not boots on the ground. So they're having their feet on the ground. And we see them protesting. The protest continues today, by the way. The Senate is meeting today. They're convening. So let's see what will come out of it, maybe, possibly. I don't know. I don't think we need to waste so much time on that story.
No, we don't. Let's go to our final story, which is a very important one that we started yesterday. And this is the continuation, because we did mention to you that the former governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, was meant to honor the invitation yesterday by the EFCC, and he did. His appearance at the EFCC headquarters sparked dramatic scenes outside the agency's gates. El-Rufai arrived at the commission's headquarters on Monday to answer questions over alleged multi-billion naira fraud linked to his tenure as governor. Hundreds of his supporters accompanied him, but tensions quickly escalated. Security operatives fired tear gas to disperse the crowd after clashes broke out between pro-El-Rufai demonstrators and other protesters in typical Nigeria fashion. There's always the pro and the counter protesters. Let's take a look at this video. And there you have it. Let's see what Nigerians are saying on X about it. But before
then, an incident happened yesterday, and thanks to the ICI of the journalists, they recorded and they had footage of when News Central's live view transmitter and also camera and tripod was seized by overzealous operatives of the EFCC. But I believe there are talks on the way to return all the equipment that was seized. I think journalism is a job that is guaranteed by the Nigerian Constitution, and we're only there to cover and report what was happening. So it will be nice for the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to read the Riot Act to its operatives in dealing with journalists and letting them understand that their presence there is a constitutional role, and their equipment, they shouldn't be prevented from doing their job. And that also applies to all security agencies and members of the public at large. But let's go ahead to see what Nigerians are saying.
Well, just before we go ahead to see what Nigerians are saying, I think it's also key that we highlight, Gbenga has highlighted that lawyers have been talking on this issue very quickly. Lawyers have been speaking deeply. So before we get the reactions from Nigerians, it's good that we get the facts, the points from the lawyers. Inebe Effiong, who is a regular here on our show, went online to break down the charges that they've brought forth to the former Kaduna State Governor, and saying that it is not in the Nigerian Constitution. Just this morning, I also saw a message from Liberal Oshoma, who talked about, he said, when public institutions and their legal officers begin to display gross incompetence in public, then we have a bigger problem than just our politicians. How do you charge somebody under a non-existent section of a certain 2024 law? You allege a wiretapping of an unspecified phone and number of an unspecified person by an unspecified person or people at an unspecified date, time, and location, using an unspecified device, and then as alleged by an unspecified person, conclusively charged by a non-existent public institution, DSS. Anyway, politicians, and then it goes on to say politicians.
So we've moved on from unknown government to unspecified.
So that is a new thing we're going to start dealing with. So what we are highlighting here is key, and hopefully we'll get the lawyers to also share on this. But let's quickly see what Nigerians are saying. Maybe we could take one or two comments very quickly so we can move on. Samuel Omogo says, Malam Nasir El-Rufai went to the official EFCC with a Hilux loaded with documents about his time as Kaduna State Governor between May 29, 2015 to May 29, 2023. That man didn't get first class in quantity surveyor by mistake. Laughing out loud. Meanwhile, his supporters followed him to the EFCC headquarters, and the EFCC tear gassed them. Okay, then tear gas him. Let's go on. El-Rufai helped bring in Tinubu to power. See how Tinubu is treating him like nobody. If not for El-Rufai, Ahmed Lawan would have been the APC candidate. Lesson: know the type of people you help.
Now why?
Okay? Village Boy movement. Have you guys seen Village Boys movement? They said city boys, the village boys are waiting for city boys to come. Now when they come, they will meet the real boys who own the villages, since they are doing city tour.
Whether or not you're a village boy or you're a city boy, Breakfast Central is here for you to bring you the latest in the news. And now let's share
bring you specified information. Yes, not unspecified.
All right.